Hey, greetings YouTube. I'm doing a 1-year review of fluid film on our 2021 Dodge Ram. We've owned, I believe, 4 full-size Dodge Rams and a couple of Dakotas before that. And no overall issues with the trucks. However, the last 2, the frame rails have rusted and scaled in 5-year period, along with the oil pans, to the point where they needed to be replaced. So I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive. I've watched some really great videos on YouTube, and we're pretty fortunate. I've got a decent shop here to work on the truck. So I'm being more proactive with this truck and hoping that we can abate some of this rust. So I'll go over a few things that I'm aware of with the Dodge Rams. I'm not sure if it's every truck. I know specifically to the Dodges what I've seen, and I can share that with you guys. And if you have any additional things that you have run into, definitely let us know. So to start with, a couple of places that I've noticed that did rust on that, and I guess first I want to show you the applicator I used. It was just a little pot. I bought this from TCB Global. It works great. It comes with 2 different wands. You don't have to use the wands. You can just use the gun as it is. Unscrew the tip, and then you can use the wands. Now this wand here has, you can see the holes. So that sprays a pattern, like a fan pattern, not fan, it sprays outward, and that works great for frame rails. So if you want to stick this down in the frame rail and pull it out, it'll spray like a 360-degree spray. The other one is more of a direct sprayer, so harder places to reach up in the under chassis. You can do more of a fan spray out. I bought it by the gallon. This is the clear or non-tinted. I guess you can get a black tint in it. This is clear. So, and then I got a couple cans of the for kind of more detailed areas around door latches and things like that, like the rear tailgate, some of those areas, those seams. So, all right, well, I'll go back to showing you kind of the places I noticed. On the frame, I'll grab a light here. A couple spots, and it was typical on both sides. This weld joint here had blistered and was rusting, just surface rust. So cleaned it up and put SEM rust shield on it, which is a good product I've had good luck with. That location and the cross member, both sides, did the same thing, same location. And there was definitely a heavy application of the fluid film. But under chassis, it gets a lot of water, and based on some of the videos I've watched, the fluid film, the lanolin products tend to wash off. So it's to be expected, I guess. The other locations are the cam, the alignment cams, the brackets blistered on both sides. So cleaned them up, wire wheeled, waxed and degreased, and touched them up with SEM. On the rear, the upper and lower control arms they're welded together, they're fabricated. Let's see if I can get this light. So there's a joint that they're seamed together. It's a continuous weld. The paint had blistered on that, so just wire wheeled that off and touched that up with SEM. And any other places I could find, little places. On the Dodge, right out of off the dealer lot, these rear differentials, or at least this one, had a very, very weak protective coating. Its paint job was, you could see bare metal on it. And to me, a truck that's being sold in the Northeast, that really is inexcusable. I just don't understand why they can't do a better job protecting just the basic components on the under chassis when you see bare metal. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I had put a lot of fluid film on it, and overall, considering there was a lot of bare metal on it, it did really well. I'm trying to experiment. The cast on the rear diff, the bottom half I've cleaned a little bit and put the SEM product on there, the rust shield. I've left the top. The top wasn't as bad, but I want to do a 1 year and see how it does. And if it looks like it's going to be a good product, I'll hold up on that diff. I'll do the whole thing. The sheet metal on the under chassis, or the floor of the bed and/or cab, has done really well. But the last two trucks that I did nothing to in 5 years did well too. The frame rails are the problem. All the joints rust. They rust from the inside. It's not good. So what you want to do is, let me grab one of these wands. Anywhere you can get this wand, you're just going to want to stick it up in there and spray and extract with the gun. I hammered these frame rails along with everything else, but those in particular, because that's what really rusted on our last two trucks. That and the oil pan. My gripe with, again, the rear diff is inexcusable. This has got what seems to be a solid protective coating on it. Both previous Rams we had, the oil pan rotted out in 5 years from the outside. I don't understand. I could go out to the junkyard today and pull an oil pan out of a 50-year-old car that's in better shape than our last two Dodge Rams in 5 years. It was really disappointing. I'm sure other trucks, other manufacturers have pluses and minuses on their under chassis, but again, Dodges have been decent trucks for us. We haven't had any huge mechanical issues, minor stuff. So overall, we've been pretty happy. The other place I think I mentioned was these cams. I already mentioned that. So on the places like on the sheet metal for the rocker panels, there's body plugs all over these trucks. Right here, they're all the way down. You can pull these plugs, stick the wands up in, and extract and spray. The door posts, there's plugs on those, on the center posts. There's a lot of places that they provide plugs, which is great, and you can get into these cavities and spray. The rear tailgate, those typically rust on these bottom seams here. So that's where I use the spray cans, just to detail those areas. Obviously, you should drop your spare and spray up in there. I'm trying to think if there's any other areas that I saw. I think that's it. Everything else looked pretty good. Drive shafts on these trucks, they've all rusted hard. There was one spot on here where the label from the manufacturer was. I just cleaned that up. It rusted, it came off, and so touched that up. Fluid film obviously isn't going to stay on there, so I'm going to clean it and maybe try a heavy high temp grease on it. Maybe it'll hold up. I mean, obviously with a drive shaft it's spinning, so it's going to throw things off. But this one looks better than my last couple of trucks in a year's time, so that's positive. And so my plan is, I've done the touch up on the stuff that I think is needed attention. Next week I'm gonna wash the truck under chassis with a pressure washer, not go crazy, just get the film of dirt is off. I think some guys have talked about leaving the dirt a little bit, that film on there as a protection, just for durability from impact and water. I don't know, it seems like it would hold water too. So, I'm gonna wash the truck under chassis as best I can and reapply for this year. And maybe I'll do in the frame rails. I don't know that I'll do as heavy as I did last year, but I'll definitely get into those areas and hit those as well. and certainly the sheet metal. So anyway, if you guys have other areas on your Ram or trucks that you've addressed and or have had issues with, definitely share it. So hopefully we can all get ahead of these things. And this is a Northeast truck. They take it hard here. So anything you can do to protect these, to get particularly these days with how expensive things are. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day, and we'll hopefully see this truck in another year. All right. Take care. Bye.